Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. We are your hosts, Vidas
and Aušra.
We've been mastering secrets of organ playing for more than 20 years and sharing them on this blog since 2011.
On this show, which we create from our home in Vilnius, Lithuania, we strive to help you grow in every area of organ playing, including practice, technique, repertoire, sight reading, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, harmony, and many others.
Our hope is to help you become a complete musician, or what we call as total organist, a program which we have created to help you reach your dreams faster than you would do on your own.
If you are new here, we invite you to subscribe to receive free updates of this blog at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
And now let's go to the podcast for today. Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Aušra.
Let's start episode 282 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Anders, and he wrote, Hi Vidas and Aušra, I'm following the information you give me with great interest. I have been playing the piano for a while, but I'm not very good at it, though I really love it and listening to great music, classic as well as jazz and ragtime. In the last period I have started to think much about playing the organ, and I've asked the local organist to give me lessons. Lessons are free in the Swedish Church, and I hope lessons will start this autumn. I bought an old electronic organ, but am extremely disappointed since the sound is outright awful. It's not what is called a church organ, they're much more expensive. I will throw my electronic organ and buy some good instrument with a really good sound. The short answer to the questions are: 1. My dream is to be able to play well enough on the organ some of my favorite music on a good pipe organ. This is I wish to do in a church where I can enjoy the fantastic and mysterious sound of the different voices of the pipes. 2. What is stopping me is really nothing except A. The feeling that I have no time. I do have long working days and other commitments. B. The feeling that my wife really doesn't enjoy listening to me repeating the difficult parts over and over again, though she doesn't complain. C. The lack of a good instrument. And these three things shouldn't stop me, I know, and I'm working on it. Now I'll explain what I mean by playing well enough. It's not at all necessary for me to dream of reaching a level of high professionalism, though I fully understand and wish to play for correctness and musicality. For me, it's better to listen to an amateur playing a simple piece very well instead of some half-professional doing a sloppy job on two complicated pieces. I think that for me it will be much more realistic to find, or even better, to be able to arrange the music so it will be simple but still beautiful and retaining the real spirit and essence of the pieces. For that I obviously will have to learn about music theory and learn to play chords and their inversions, etc. Maybe not so impossible. For instance, I have maybe 5-6 different versions of some piece of music, ranging from the very simple to the very difficult. And it's far from always the fastest version with most notes and difficult fingering that catches the essentials. Thank God for that. I have some rather simple pieces that are really beautiful if you perform them correctly and with real spirit. My taste includes classical pieces such as poem by Fiebig, pieces by Grieg and Delius, and some very nice pieces by Erik Satie. Some jazz pieces I wish to play are maybe not very well known, but some are just standards. I especially point out some outstanding jazz recordings made by Fats Waller in 1927 on a church pipe organ in St. There has not been any recordings of jazz organ to compare with before or after these few musical pearls, so rich in harmony and feeling. Of course, I will never be able to play like Waller did, but maybe be able to play some simplified and still beautiful version in a not too fast tempo. In my opinion, speed is not often very important. Many pieces win on being played slower but correctly giving time to listen to the music. As a rounding off, I wish to say that I fully appreciate and try to apply the principles of slow playing in practice, repeating until I play without faults and learning a piece step by step. Actually, I was smiling with remembrance when I read through your organ practice is a privilege. The reason is that I already knew about the principle since my last wife was a really good piano teacher from St. Petersburg. And she applied these rules. Before she died 6 years ago, I was lucky to learn the importance of these rules, though I was never a very good pupil. And it was maybe not so easy to have the wife as a teacher. She was really serious. Best of wishes, Anders from Sweden. Wow, that's a long, that's a very long message that Anders wrote, and such a thoughtful that I think we have a lot to talk about, right, Osha?
Sure, and I think it's very instructive. It sort of confirms our beliefs in learning slowly and practicing patiently.
And person like Anders, who wrote such a detailed description of how he practices, what is his situation, how he feels his obstacles are, means that he has a very deep level of self-observance. Sort of, he analyzes his own actions and ideas, and he might become his own teacher.
Yes, I think that's a wonderful features that he has.
Because when people sometimes want to improve but are not necessarily conscious of what they're doing wrong, they just have this distant dream or a goal in mind, like a horizon, and the days are passing by, they're practicing without knowing if they are improving or not, without knowing if they are going towards the goal or away from it.
True, that's true.
Do you think that Anders will reach his goal faster than most of other people we encountered?
Probably yes.
Mm.
Because, it's sort of a paradox in life, but often people who do not rush into things achieve their goal first.
Exactly. You know, the feeling I got from reading his message was that I'm reading a blog post or an article someplace online from a personal blog about organ practice by an organist very conscious of his or her own efforts. Don't you think that this kind of message should be posted actually on his own personal blog?
Sure, of course. Definitely.
I-
I think many people would benefit from reading, message like this.
I'm not even thinking about many people, I think he will personally benefit from thinking about his ideas and writing them down. And once he writes them down, he can, practice much more efficiently. He can articulate other ideas as well. And you're right, other people will enjoy listening and reading to them too.
Yes, the thing that struck me in this letter was that, Swedish Church gives organ lessons for free.
I didn't understand
Actually,
fully.
this was a big surprise to me. I don't think there is another country that could do this. But who then is paying the organist for those lessons? State?
Could be
Church?
if the church fully supports an organist like full-time position, then maybe those organ lessons are included in his workload. Maybe. I'm not sure if it's that situation. If it is, then it would be fantastic situation for students. For organists, I don't know if it's fantastic or not, depending on what kind of salary they get from the state. But obviously, it's Swedish Church is not connected with the state anymore. It's separated from the state, so the church has to be quite willing to support the organist and the lessons.
But what the organist would have to do if, for example, there would be, I don't know, 5, 10 people who suddenly decide to learn to play the organ. And he or she would still have, to teach them all.
Maybe they have, like maximum or minimum number of people to teach.
But that's an interesting thing. We need our friend Joran from Sweden to ask about it more.
Yeah, maybe we didn't understand something from this message correctly. We'll have to double check.
Another thing that I found amusing is about his, wife that, she doesn't complain about his practicing hard spots over and over again. In any case, you could, I don't know, give your wife earplugs as a present. But she wouldn't have to listen to your practice at all if she doesn't like it.
Or if it's an electronic organ you're practicing on, you could practice with earphones too.
Yes, anyway, but I think it's funny.
Ausra, when I'm practicing my spots over and over again, how do you feel?
Well, that's fine, because I know what you are going through, so it doesn't bother me.
It takes an organist to understand an organist.
Actually, I like when you practice.
I love it too. One of my favorite moments of the day these past few weeks have been when we go, to the first floor when our organ is located, and you sit down first thing in the morning and you practice your chorale Fantasia and Wasserfluss in Babylon by Johann Adam Reinken. And those 21 minutes are one of my favorites in the day.
Good to know.
Yours too, right?
Yes, that's right. It's a pretty fantasy. Well, so what about, those arrangements, because Anders mentioned that he want to play some arrangements for organ and not necessarily need to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree that, different music would be performed on the organ, let's say not original organ music?
Mm-hmm, sure, it could be. We're performing vocal motets, right? It's not original. We add some diminutions and flourishes and passages, and it sounds much better on the organ that way. So it has been widely spread practice to perform and arrange other music, instrumental music and vocal music, and even symphonic music on the organ too.
Yes, and if you take any collection of, let's say, wedding music or Christmas music, you will find, huge variety of arrangements and transcriptions for organ. And they vary in difficulty. You can find really easy ones, and you can find quite a hard ones too. Let's take, for example, such a popular piece as, Alleluia from Handel's Messiah. You can find so many transcriptions for organ.
Right. I think the easiest thing to play for organist is just two outer voices, a soprano and the bass, with two hands, if they are just starting out. So maybe Anders can do that. If he wants to create a little bit more advanced version, then a third middle part must be entered. Maybe with pedals playing the bass line then. Trio texture, right?
Sure. And to know what I actually liked the most about his letter, about Anders' letter, that he understands that it's better, to pick up an easy piece and to play it very well than to take, too hard piece and to play it sloppy. I think this is, the basic rule.
It's quite mature feeling he has, right? Even though he can't play maybe very advanced versions yet very well, but he has a good taste. That's hopeful.
Do you remember we had such a studio member back in Nebraska at Lincoln? The guy was a big fan of American football.
Oh, yeah.
And he always wanted to play grand pieces, and he could not do them at that time. It was not in his ability, not in his capability to do it. But he wanted to play like fantasies by Reger and all whatever hard stuff. And I just don't know how Dr. Faulkner and Dr. Ritchie handled him. But I think then he stopped, taking organ anymore.
When you practice two advanced pieces for a while, and your professor say that you're not playing well enough, obviously, on these particular pieces, you get discouraged simply, right? And you quit. Or you switch to the easier repertoire if you're wise enough.
True.
So, to end this conversation, I think let's wish Anders to acquire a different organ, maybe better solution for his home, and start doing those organ arrangements, right? Practice to the best of his ability.
Yes, and let us know how your progress is doing.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for sending these wonderful questions. And anyone who is so detailed as Anders should really think, at least try to put those ideas somewhere online, not necessarily on your own blog, but maybe on social media channels, right? That will be very beneficial for everyone who is writing and reading as well. Thanks, guys. This was Vidas
and Ausra.
And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.
This blog is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online, where you will find courses for every area of organ playing, including technique, practice, sight reading, repertoire playing, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory and harmony, with hundreds of scores and thousands of exercises. Here is what some of the students are saying.
Hugh writes, "The sight reading course has helped me tremendously. Thank you very much for your essays, courses, and all your help."
Robert writes, "I found the fingerings, registration ideas, and general comments to be excellent."
John writes, "I have found your download very helpful. It was really excellent. I have watched some of your teaching videos, and when I read your instructions, I tried to imagine you are there teaching me. You may feel disappointed that I am 2-3 days behind, but I am a slow learner, and I have committed to taking the time to get it right, as you say. But the other night my wife commented that she had never heard me play such a detailed melody in the left hand so well. My left hand is generally poor."
Robert writes, "It has been a great pleasure in my life of having discovered your courses and material as well as the YouTube work of recordings. You have a calm and pleasant way of teaching."
Ron writes, "Hi Vidas and Ausra, thank you guys. What a wonderful response to my email note to you. You've got me right, and I feel you understand my level of playing. Yes, at home and luckily that I have an organ for that reason. I am paying attention to this, and I am going to try this haha no longer secret model. Yes, and I love Cesar Frank too. What is very nice about your blog podcast is that Ausra and Vidas are like a Socratic dialogue, and by bouncing things off of each other, so much more information comes out and is expressed. Your comments contain a wealth of information and understanding. I really appreciate this. It is very inspiring and will keep us moving forward.
Would you like to receive the same or even better results that our students are getting? If so, join them at organduo.lt/total-organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to receive free updates of this blog, make sure you do that at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video, how to master any organ composition, and 10-day organ playing mini course.
This was Vidas
and Ausra from Secrets of Organ Playing.
And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.